let's go ahead and start the F&A meeting together. Please note attendance of Councilmember Johnson and myself, and the absence of Councilmember Benson. Unless there are objections, I'll note Councilmember Benson's absence as excused. You have any objections to that, Councilmember Johnson?
No objection.
Please note his absence as excused. All right, with that, we'll move on into Parks and Public Works agenda. Was called to order and roll call. We'll have public comments, and we have one public comment, one scheduled public comment tonight. Waste management presentation, community outreach, educational and recycling. Who will be?
Oh, yes.
Hi, my name is Tawn Kirkland. I'm a public sector manager with the Waste Management. Good evening. Thank you so much for letting us, giving us space to talk about our public outreach here in Snoqualmie. We are very grateful to be your service provider for garbage, recycling, and yard waste. With that, I'll turn it over to Shannon.
Thank you so much, Han. Hello, my name is Shannon Brennan. I am the outreach coordinator at WM for the city of Snoqualmie, and part of my role is managing our Recycle Corps interns. And we have two of them joining us today. So Katie, I'll let you introduce yourself first.
I'm Katie. I went to Western Washington University and I graduated with environmental studies as a major. Anything else?
And then I'm Martine. I also went to Western and I studied environmental science.
Wonderful. Thank you both so much. So we are here today to talk about our work in Snoqualmie as it relates to public education and outreach. So I'll just move my screen along. So our 2023 public education plan and goals for this year are commercial site visits to all commercial businesses in the city of Snoqualmie, as well as multifamily site visits to all multifamily properties in the city of Snoqualmie. We were also present at Snoqualmie Big Truck Day, which was wonderful. We had one of our beautiful brand new clean WM trucks there, as well as a couple of our Recycle Corps interns there at an educational booth to have conversations with Snoqualmie residents about how to recycle right and provide fun educational resources for them. We will also be at the Snoqualmie Pancake Breakfast coming up in August, supporting them to make it as zero waste as possible, as well as to help calculate their diversion rates. So just to go into a little bit about our Recycle Corps program. So this is an annual program that we have. It's a part of our education and outreach goals. So every summer we hire around 8 to 12 college students or recent graduates to support us in our education goals and really get the recycling right message farther out there. And we also just love the perspective that our Recycle Corps interns bring, because they are either students currently or fresh graduates. And so, you know, they have a lot of knowledge on the subject that they're happy and eager to share out with everyone. It's also an award-winning program. Our education team has won multiple awards in recent years for this program specifically. So we really enjoy working with our Recycle Corps interns. So just a quick recap of Snoqualmie Big Truck Day. Like I mentioned, we had one of our brand new WM recycling trucks there. It was a great opportunity to connect with residents, have conversations about how they're sorting their waste, how they can improve their recycling systems at home, at their businesses, at their multifamily properties. We had two of our Recycle Corps interns, and they were able to have lots of these great conversations, engage kiddos in our fun educational games, as well as adults in really, you know, breaking any bad habits and having conversations about how to make their systems more efficient. For commercial site visits, we were able to visit 119 businesses. This is almost all of the businesses in Snoqualmie. A few of them were closed or we were unable to access their dumpsters. So for each of these businesses, we were able to do what we call an enclosure audit. So that includes going to their dumpsters or their carts that they have, and just kind of seeing how they're doing recycling and food and yard waste wise. Are they doing a good job sorting their waste? Do they understand what should be going in the recycling versus the compost versus the garbage? And then once those audits were completed, our Recycle Corps interns were able to go into the businesses and have helpful, fruitful conversations with the managers. So they were able to answer questions if the business manager had any questions about what should go where. They were able to offer insights into what might make their systems more effective and efficient. They were also able to hand out resources that these business managers could then share with their staff. For multifamily site visits, our Recycle Corps were able to visit 7 properties and also conduct those enclosure audits. So similar to the commercial business site visits, they took a look at the recycling, at the garbage, at the food and yard waste if they had it, just to see how the systems were going. They were then able to go into the property manager's office and have those helpful conversations. With multifamily site visits, we often find because there are so many people living on one property, it's really important to make sure that the property manager has resources and information that they can easily and readily share out with their residents, whether that be posting it in a front office, sharing it on a virtual portal, or directing them to another website. The resources that we were able to share with both businesses as well as multifamily properties included 3 waste stream guides. So guides that include information on what should be going in the recycling, what should be going in the compost, and what should be going in the garbage. We also had our Recycle Corps interns replace all decals if they were looking worn down, if they weren't really legible anymore, or if they just needed a fresh update. So those decals, you can see Katie in the photo holding one of those up there. We also had hazardous waste information on where that should go. We also offered digital resources such as videos, digital guides, helpful resources that property managers can send out online. We also were able to provide advice on system improvements and much more. So before I wrap things up, I'm going to hand it over to our 2 wonderful Recycle Corps interns that we have here today, just to share a few words about their experience working in the city of Snoqualmie.
Hi, so I grew up in Seattle, so I never really got to go over here before, but it's a really nice city and I really enjoyed my time here. All the people that we did site visits for were super engaged and friendly and like really willing to learn. We went to the Snoqualmie Inn, I believe it was called. And that manager was really friendly. She like listened to like all our feedback and she made sure to that she was going to pass it on to her employees and then even offered us some refreshments. So it was a very good experience being here. And like, I felt like everyone was very receptive to everything we had to say. So yeah.
Yeah, and then I am from Snoqualmie, so it was really nice being here, and it was really cool to get to work with the community that I grew up in. Like, we got to go to the Bindle Stick and help Rochelle with her recycling program, which was really cool for me because that's where I went with my parents growing up and everything like that. And it was really fun just to work in my hometown, and the commute was very short, which was nice as well.
Thanks, Martine and Katie. And then lastly, an upcoming event that we have later this summer, as I mentioned, the pancake breakfast. So we will be partnering to make the event as zero waste as possible, making sure that we have those diversion rates as high as possible. This will be taking place on Saturday, August 19th. So if any of you are there, we will also be there helping to sort waste and just make that event as zero waste as possible. And with that, we will wrap things up. Thank you so much for giving us a few minutes of your time. We love working in the city of Snoqualmie. Like Katie said, the businesses, the managers are super receptive to this information and eager to learn more and improve their recycling systems. So thank you so much. It's great to be here.
Are you taking questions?
Yeah, absolutely. If you have time for it.
Sorry, well, just two questions. Is this a one-time event or is this yearly? Or
Yeah.
some period?
Yeah. Is this microphone? Yes, it is working. Yeah, so this is an annual project. The projects year to year will vary on exactly what they look like. So this year it was in-person site visits to all commercial properties and all multifamily properties. Year to year, the project may differ. Perhaps we find that, some businesses were closed. So maybe it's better to hit them with a phone call and have conversations that way and then provide the resources via email or online. But yes, it is an annual project that we do every year.
So for those segments of the community you engage with, or with this year, are we doing better, about the same, or don't have the metrics to really tell if we're improving or not? As
Yeah.
far as our cycling habits.
So I am working on putting the report together right now in terms of contamination rates, what we were seeing when we were conducting those audits. What I will say is from the data I have been able to look at so far, it's looked great. In every city we work with, there's always areas for improvement, whether that be reminding folks that plastic bags can't be recycled or, whatever it may be. So definitely areas for improvement, but it looks very on par with a lot of the cities that we're working with this year.
Okay, and then the other one, can you provide us information on high incident issues? Maybe we can also help with the communication through the newsletter, whatever,
Absolutely.
at least
Yeah.
take a look at it, see if there's opportunity.
Absolutely, like recurring issues that we were noticing. So I would be happy to actually share that report with you when I put it all together. That might be helpful for you to see what sorts of incidents we were seeing. So I'm more than happy to share that report with you when I have that all completed for you to review. I'm also more than happy to put together, once that report is completed, just a bulleted list of the things we were noticing. Just a couple of things right off the top of my head. Like I mentioned, plastic bags in almost every city we work in, I will say, is our biggest enemy, is just reminding folks to keep plastic bags out of the recycling and to put those in the garbage. And then another one is just encouraging folks who may not have yard and food waste set up, so a lot of that is going into the garbage, to consider getting that set up.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for
Oh, sorry, Chair.
wait. Thank you very much for it's impressive the number of visits of the businesses that you visited in such a short time. To me, like the summer is only half over and you've already completed all of it. So nice job. Thank you.
Thank you.
Real quick, Chair, if I may.
Yeah, go ahead, Joe.
So yes, on the food waste especially, it's really simple to get a little bin in the kitchen. And my assumption was it was going to stink to high heaven, and it really doesn't. I was very shocked by that. You just get a green bin. They make compostable plastic bags that you can put as liners in those things in the kitchen, tie them up, and specifically those bags, toss those in the green waste bin. It's really simple and inexpensive. So I highly recommend folks do that. The other thing on the plastic bags is that, unfortunately, some businesses, including some large ones in the area, have decided to continue using plastic bags despite the statewide ban, because the way that the law was written, there are certain thicknesses that they're allowed to continue using for the bags. And so they put the recycling stamp on them. Now, well, my understanding is that we can't throw those in our blue bins. If you take them to Safeway, they have some program where they can recycle the bags, or at least they claim to. I don't know if that's true or not, but they at least claim that they will do it. Just want to note those two things.
Thank you. And thank you. You don't have to stay for the rest. It's totally up to you. All right, with that, we'll move on with the rest of the agenda for tonight. We have approval of the minutes dated July 5, 2023. Chair has no questions, comments, or revisions. Councilmember Johnson, how are you?
Just want to make sure that the chair was fine with the attendees list and mark statuses since I wasn't there. I just want to make sure that since you were, that you agreed with the phrasing.
Other than plural and singular, I see
Okay.
no reason for revision correctly.
Okay. Great. Just want to make sure. Thank you.
All right, so we'll move forward with the minutes as presented, approved. Move on to agenda bills, amendment to Public Works contract for Purcell Painting and Coating for the City Hall Stairs Repair Project. Who will talk this one? He's coming up. All right. Right. You have something to share? Start.
Okay. Evening, Mayor, council members. Patrick Fry, project engineer. Been a few months since I've seen you, but I'm back with Agenda Bill 23-096, which is an amendment to the Public Works contract with Purcell Paintings and Coatings for the City Hall Stairs project. Just to refresh your memory, this is an amendment to the existing contract with them, which was accepted in Agenda Bill 23-028, which was the repair of the rear City Hall stairs. So that repair, the project scope included the demolition of the existing concrete, sandblasting the steel that was then exposed, priming, sealing, and painting that steel, and then installing a snow melt system to prevent the use of corrosive salts on the staircase in the future. Unfortunately, once we demoed all of the concrete, the existing steel was not in the condition that was hoped for and or expected, and instead was considerably more corroded. So if you see the pictures that are up on the screen right now, there's the first landing,
Just gone.
above and below, just effectively non-existent. The stairs, they have all of these little pinholes, and that's because the steel is too thin. And the third landing, a little bit better shape, but still quite rusted and thin. And unfortunately, what this means is when we sandblasted it, essentially the remaining steel on the landings and stairs would disintegrate, turn to nothing. And so we just can't blast it, seal it, paint it, cover it back up. We're gonna have to replace all of this steel. And so what the cost is for all of this, it's replacement of all three landings. So that's about 300 square feet of landings. And then all the stairs, I think there's 31 of them to be replaced. And so the cost for all of that is roughly 85,000. And so that's an amendment to the contract. One thing I will note is that I have another iron in the fire for just getting competitive pricing for this. So this is an authorization to spend up to this existing quote that's part of this. But I'm hoping that we might be able to drive the price down. But in an effort of ensuring that this gets done in a timely fashion, because we can't be painting past, say, October 15th, we're trying to get this ball rolling and get the authorization to spend up to $84,696. And
Councilmember Johnson, do you have any questions?
I could sorry to interrupt.
Go ahead.
Just, this is more Drew's court, but there is budget in the facilities maintenance program remaining. And so that's what it would be pulling from.
Yeah, so my question is essentially just about what's left. So it looks like we do have some money left over after this, which is good. However, is the money left over projected to be enough, or is this getting us close to the point where future costs for this project are going to start overrunning?
So I just ensuring that I understand this correction or this question. This is the only expected cost overrun. We knew this was a bit of an unknown, that we didn't know what the steel looked like underneath it. We figured there was going to be some welding. We didn't expect this amount of damage. But from here on out, I don't foresee any further amendments with this project. It just, from here, the scope is 100% known. There's no more unknowns. such as
Excellent.
concrete.
I do want you to remember that there was a pot of money budgeted to do a whole bunch of projects, so this will affect some of the lower priority projects and their ability to get taken care of in that allocation of money.
Right, you had 900,000, we're halfway through the year and you're gonna end up with only 90,000 left.
Yeah, so
Rough
some
numbers.
of those other projects may not get completed this time around.
And that's in the biennium, so not just this year.
Correct.
Yes.
So, any other questions, Councilor Johnson?
Looking at these pictures here, it looks like it'd be a good idea to do something.
So, I guess my question, your words didn't quite jive with the agenda bill. In that, the agenda bill says execute an amendment with Purcell to do this. Your statement was you're still looking to see if we can do something off to the side and go get less. Are we doing the contract with Purcell? If so, what's the out clause that allows us to pull this back and go get a third party to do this?
So this would always be a contract amendment with Purcell. It's just a matter of who subs the work. Does that make sense?
Say that again.
Like, it's a matter of who's doing the subcontracting for the work.
So, Purcell would be the prime.
Purcell is the prime.
Correct. In this case, we're helping Purcell find somebody to do this type of work because they're a painting contractor.
Yeah.
And
They did not want to do this work.
we're combining three different trades that normally don't play together. So we're having to kind of help to get this project done.
Okay, and Purcell has concurred to be basically the prime and have a sub come in and do reconstruction of the stairs.
Yep. And one other thing to note with that is once all of this is done, where I'm having a structural engineer, not affiliated with Purcell at all, come out and just do an analysis of the whole situation. Just make sure that the welding's done right,
Is that included in the 85,000 or
That was my question.
existing contract that we have with them.
with Purcell? Okay.
Yeah, we're with OTAC is the engineer that would do it, but yeah.
I think maybe this could qualify for consent.
Yeah, I'm still concerned. We've pretty well told the sub what we're willing to pay before we have discussions. But, okay. Yeah, I'm okay with consent if you're okay with consent, Councilor Johnson.
Yep.
Okay. All right, let's move next agenda items. That's the end of the agenda bills. We're into director's report, staffing and project status.
Sure. So staffing, we're not much has changed. We're still 6 people down, 2 in parks, 2 water, 2 in sewer. However, we are interviewing for a park supervisor. this week and next week. So hopefully we'll have that position filled here soon. Which gives us, I guess, a step in the right direction. So we're making some progress there. As far as projects reports, I can give you 3 pretty good ones right now. We have the Parkway project, the Parkway Rehabilitation Project, which is underway. For the next 2.5 weeks, they'll be reconstructing ADA ramp facilities. And then pavement grinding starts in August. And be mill and filled. I suspect that'll take about 3 weeks, and it'll be kind of a road show. They'll be grinding up one side. They'll be closing. It's anticipated that they're going to be closing segments of 1 lane or of 2 lanes. So they'll be transferring traffic over, so that we'll have 2-way traffic on one side of the road or the other in various segments as they move across. It goes quicker that way. It's a little bit more of a I guess a distraction for folks, but it'll go quicker that way. So we'll get it done sooner. So that'll be, a little bit more efficient and in the end, less upsetting or less impactful to local traffic. Now, another project that we are starting on Friday is the paving our pavement rehabilitation program. So we'll be starting paving on 2 streets. So we have Mill Pond Road. So that starts on Friday, and they have already performed the pre-construction kickoff meeting, and they are basically getting ready to go. You'll start seeing signs out there by Mill Pond for that. And then also over at the Stone Quarry Road, that begins about around the same time. It's part of the same project. And then another project I can give you a quick update on, the community center development. We are in the process of scoping and contracting for that. So you can anticipate seeing that contract come to council or come to committee at the next committee meeting.
Yeah, council. All right. On suggestion, take it for whatever or don't. On the grind and overlay of the parkway,
Yes.
can you have them avoid the I-90 section on Fridays at the tail end of the week?
I'll do my best on that one.
Just it might make for happier people if we don't mess with that Friday.
Right.
I won't use the term I want to use.
Yeah, I understand. We're actually, the contractor is going to be working 4/10s. So they will generally not be working Fridays unless they get behind, which they don't anticipate.
Okay. It's just
Yeah.
summer's coming. It's just gonna get worse down there.
Oh, yeah.
So, all right, cool.
Question about staffing, if you don't mind, Chair.
Sure.
Go ahead.
Just about the stormwater, since summer ends faster than we'd all wish, which means that winter is coming. Are we going to be okay if we don't end up filling those positions, or are we going to have some serious overtime problems and fatigue problems?
Well, not in regard to stormwater. We are staffed on stormwater. We have a stormwater manager who is Patrick Fry. And
Oh, I thought you said you're missing 2 on stormwater. I must have misheard.
in parks, wastewater, and in our water group, drinking water groups.
Oh, okay, thanks.
There is one other staff change that took place at the beginning of the week. Nicole Weeby is now going to be in Parks and Public Works. Community outreach will be in Parks and Public Works. It's I think it'll help streamline some of the communications. My staff is her staff for events, so getting them all together and building those relationships, it'll make stuff work a lot smoother and a lot less emails flying back and forth. So.
All right, with that, we have concluded the agenda for today. Are there any other items for discussion tonight? If not, unless there are objections, I will move to adjourn.
No objection.
Hearing no objections, we are adjourned. Thank you all.